been a phenomenal experience. I can't believe that I'm now in my 7th year. It seems only 5 minutes ago since I joined in 2019. So for the first 3 years, I was a board member, really getting my eye in terms of what the organisation was about, because it's complicated, it's complex, and you really need to get under the skin of it to be effective as a board member. When it came round to being chair, that was a little bit of a surprise to me. But actually, I felt so strongly that the organisation needed somebody that really understood the organisation. By that time, I felt I did. That I put my hat in the ring and was successful. Actually, being a chair is a very all-consuming role. There's very little downtime. You always need to be thinking about the organisation, about the future, how the board itself is operating, what the relationship is like with the executive. Most importantly, it's about really understanding the experience of clients and tenants. There is no such thing as a typical week. It's probably about the equivalent of 4 full days a month. But sometimes that can be almost 5-day week. And then other months it might be a few hours on a couple of days. So there really isn't anything typical. There's a broad range of stuff that you're trying to do. You're setting agendas, you're talking to other board members, you're talking to the C-suite and staff, you're out on visits. And there's also the stuff about keeping up to date with what's happening in the sector, because it's really, really important that you understand the external operating environment. So it's more than just running meetings. It's living and breathing what South Down needs for the future and how you ensure good stewardship. What I enjoy most is actually getting out and about. So that's actually meeting clients and tenants, but it's also about meeting staff. My favourite points of the year are South Down Assembly when I go there. There's always really good debate there, which is the staff really putting forward their views on key things that are on the future direction of the organisation. But it's things like going to the Learning Disabilities Fiesta and the Christmas concert. You just walk into the room and you're just hit by this wall of colour and sound, of pure joy. And you can see the beautiful relationships that are between the colleagues and clients and tenants. So, I mean, those for me are the absolute buzz. Because there's a whole series of people who are deeply committed to the organisation. Everybody, without exception, wants the best for South Down. Very different set of people with different life experiences, different professional experiences, but all of them come together to work together with each other and with the C-suite to look to the long-term future of South Down. We want South Down to be here in another 50 years. So that is a strong motivator for the board. When I joined South Down, it was really important to me that I was working in an organisation that was going to have an impact in the community I live in. We are surrounded by evidence of a lack of affordable housing, rising homelessness, street homelessness, and an increase in the number of mental health experiences people have day to day. So to work in an organisation that's actually trying to do something across all of those activities is, for me, so very important. But one of the things the board talks about a lot is what is the impact that we're having. And that's why things like the impact report we produce each year is so important, because it's such a tangible way of seeing the difference that the dedicated staff team at South Down make every single day. And one of the joys of the job is that the staff are so passionate about what they do. And I can see and have seen them go the extra mile just to ensure that people can have the life that they choose. And that for me is such a motivator. I have learnt so much because I was an executive before. So being a non-executive is a very, very different experience. You have to look at problems in a very different way. It's a big commitment because you have to spend the time, because you're not doing the job day to day. You have to spend the time to really understand the organisation and keep up with it. So that the intellectual stretch for me has been really, really positive. But I've also learnt things about myself. We do a lot of reflection in terms of our performance as a board. And my colleague board members do an annual appraisal of me, and they have been very candid in the things that I do really, really well, but the things that I can think about. And what for me is the beauty of Southdown is very much a learning organisation, and I've had the joy of being part of that. Creative, resilient, determined, but has a warm heart. And that for me is really important.